I was just feeling really fatigued. I had this cough that would not go away, and I had just my physical appointment with my regular doctor, and I told her, and she said, "Oh, it's fall, everybody feels like that." So I'll do all my coughing there at work, and people that I worked with said, for crying out loud, go get that cough taken care of. It's like, I'm trying to. Another month went by and I was getting worse. So I finally called my doctor back and told her I wanted a CT scan of my lung. So she ordered it, and then she told me that I had lung cancer. Being a nurse and knowing what, cigarette smoking can do, and how people were gonna judge me, oh, well, you deserve it because you smoked, that kind of stuff. So that really bothered me. I didn't want anyone to know. So I didn't even tell my husband. I couldn't get in to see a pulmonologist until the first part of January. And he told me he didn't think it was cancer. He thought it was a lung infection.
Infectious disease like tuberculosis is not usually on the radar screen. And because it's not something that you deal with every day, every month, every week, it comes up every year or two or never in your prior experience as a physician, you can be completely caught off guard by it.
As an afterthought, my doctor there decided to do some sputums on me. In March, the 2nd of March, I get a phone call saying that I had TB and had to go into isolation.
So tuberculosis is an airborne transmitted disease. That means if you're in the same room with somebody with active tuberculosis, then them coughing, which is one of the key symptoms of tuberculosis, and breathing and speaking, clearing their throats in that room is going to increase the concentration of tuberculosis organisms suspended in the air. So anyone in that room is going to breathe those in. And because it's a contagious disease, that's a problem.
That was a long time period to go in exposing people, and I was really worried about my daughter too, because I was with her a lot and coughing in her car a lot, which was pretty close contact. I have 8 siblings, so there's 50 of us when we all get together. And then my brother-in-law passed away, so I had, kids sleeping on the floor in my bedroom.
In most cases still of tuberculosis that we see in this country, it's completely treatable. Any clinician can treat the tuberculosis effectively. The treatment lasts 6 months, and the disease symptoms are cough, sputum production, sometimes coughing up blood, weight loss, loss of appetite, feeling weak and sleeping all the time, and fevers that seem to continually come and go day after day. Tuberculosis has been with humans from about the time that humans started congregating together in groups. The treatment of tuberculosis, however, has taken many centuries for us to figure out. In order to keep other people from getting infected, they collected the patients into what were called sanitarium, and it really wasn't until 1940, in the mid-40s really, before we had a drug that would actually treat tuberculosis. Because tuberculosis right now is still out of control. It's a forgotten plague because it's a plague mainly in parts of the world that we don't see as clearly. So that we're talking about a plague in the third world countries, along with starvation and famine. The problems of tuberculosis in those third world countries and the issues with treating it effectively, the resources that are required, are lower on the priority list.
I had my own business, a small grocery store in Burma. I liked it very much, but we had to leave because the government and soldiers extorted us for food and money. Due to civil war, we fled Burma and went to Malaysia with other refugees. In Malaysia, doctors told me I had TB in my lungs. I took medicine and my doctor said I was cured. About a year later, I had terrible back pain, so I went in for a checkup. The doctor said I had TB in my back. He gave me medicine, which I took for a year. After that, I went to the doctor who said I was cured. So I stopped taking the medicine. Because of this, I was finally able to move to America. Life was great. My TB was gone, and I had plenty of friends to spend my time with. I was even trying to get my daughter to move here from Burma. But then my back pain started again and was getting worse day by day. I was very upset that I still had this terrible disease.
Because of the misuse of these antibiotics, tuberculosis can develop resistance if you don't give the right treatment. So in some of the third world countries, we are now dealing with drug-resistant tuberculosis.
My doctor said I needed to have surgery. They removed 2 pieces from my backbone and put a rod in my back. But my health was not improving, and I started getting horrible headaches that would not go away. The medicine they gave me was so strong I couldn't even open my eyes. I threw up everything I ate. I felt terrible and believed I did not have much more time to live. I started to think about my daughter. My last wish was to see her one more time. After I had been taking these medicines regularly, my health started to improve greatly. Amazingly, all of my back pain and headaches were completely gone. I feel I was lucky to escape death. And now, once again, my life has meaning.
Tuberculosis carries a stigma, a negative stigma, because, again, the people who are most vulnerable are the ones the most vulnerable in society. Also is where tuberculosis tends to occur more commonly. So because of that, I think tuberculosis gets the rap for being a disease of the poor and down and out, and a marker for being that. But in fact, it's an equal opportunity infector. It can infect the well-to-do just as easily as it does the poor and down and out. Because again, it's an airborne disease, and you can come in contact through any measure where if you're in the same room long enough with someone who's infected.